Well, hello and welcome, and hopefully welcome back. My name is Sean Smith. I'm with the Learning Research Network, or the LRN, and this is a series we're providing, particularly these series of videos, on planning and designing for all learners, but particularly, of course, our students with disabilities. And of course, as I've mentioned earlier in previous videos, we're really thinking of the variability of the learners that we're working with. And in so doing, students with anxiety, reading challenges, executive function challenges, time, organization, memory, whatever it may be, and yes, identified students with disabilities as well. But there's a series of video segments that talk about the variability of our learners and also the barriers that are often associated with that variability. In this section, I want to reinforce this idea and further introduce the way we solve it, and that's through the Universal Design for Learning framework. And a previous video kind of introduces the idea of UDL, and I want to do so a little bit further with this idea of a menu. But before I get to that, let me put up a visual that we used in the previous video. And this visual offers, of course, the fact that we have a group of students or group of fans that want to watch a game. And of course, from a design perspective, that third option is what we want, right? We want to eliminate the needs for something separate, or what we might use in education vernacular as accommodations. We want to eliminate the need for accommodations, those boxes, and plan design for the fence, which we need because we want safety of our athletes, safety of the fans. We also might want to consider in terms of ticket prices and things of that nature. But in giving the transparent fence, we are allowing for the individuals not needing accommodations and additional planning. Now let's take this over to a menu. And let's think about the fact that we want to design a menu for an event that maybe brings together a barbecue for the summer, planning for the a watch party for the Olympics Games. Maybe it's in preparation to watch the Kansas City Chiefs repeat in another Super Bowl. Ha ha ha, had to throw that in as being outside Kansas City here at the University of Kansas. But whatever it may be, we probably have a dozen or so people that we're planning for. And you may say, well, gosh, I'm going to do a barbecue theme, or I'm going to do a Mexican theme, or I'm going to do an Italian theme, or whatever it may be. But there's going to be a theme to the food you offer. There's going to be some sort of connection between the dishes. It's just not going to be, you're not the Golden Corral. You're not offering a buffet. If you are, that's going to be a lot of time, a lot of money. So instead, you're probably going to center in on some items. And it might be the fact that you cook a bunch of ribs. It might be the fact that you have a pasta dish, or whatever it may be. But in so doing, you're going to need to be considering the variability of your guests, just like we need to consider the variability of our learners in our classroom. And so the variability of our guests, my goodness, we're going to have vegetarians, we're going to have vegans, we're going to have meat lovers. We're also going to have individuals that are gluten-free, individuals that have nut allergies, individuals that may have plant-based diets or because of religious components, kosher and other things. We may have individuals that are lactose intolerant or recovering alcoholics. And you probably can give me another half dozen or so things that we need to consider. Now, we're not short order cooks. We're not going to make all these specialty dishes. And if we are, we're going to go back to what that visual offered a moment ago, and that is we're going to offer a bunch of accommodations. And my goodness, that's not going to be a centered dining experience. It's going to be more of a short order cook. Guests will not see the continuity within the menu, and they'll probably notice that. And by the way, they also may be offended. Well, here, we have this main dish over here, but then we have these specialty dishes over here. Well, actually, I want to kind of have a little bit more than just this one dish. Or we make a variety of dishes, and we're going a bit more to the buffet. We have a bunch of leftovers. Oh, here's you gluten-free people here. You walk away with this. No, you meat lovers, you walk away with that. Again, we're not going to do that. That's not appropriate. So right from the get-go, we're going to design a menu that is really thinking about all our guests. In the same way, back to our fence analogy, we're going to design an experience with the consideration of all the needs of our learners, and we're going to make any barriers transparent. And so therefore, from a menu perspective, we'll plan a design so that we don't have, or we've reduced the barriers, and we've given more options to our guests, just like we want to reduce the barriers and give more options to our students with learner variability, as well as those identified with disability. That's what the framework offers. From multiple means of engagement, multiple means of representation, and multiple means of action expression, we're giving ourselves, and of course the students that we design and plan for, those options necessary to truly meet their needs, and in so doing, enhance their learner outcomes, and of course, including individuals with disabilities as well as struggling learners into our classroom. So the next session will focus in more on the framework, but I hope this session has you thinking a little bit more about how we need to design and plan, be it for a dinner party with a dozen or so guests, or for a classroom with 20 or more students. In both instances, we're having more and more variability that we'll need to consider when we're planning and designing, be it a menu or our instructional efforts. Again, Sean Smith here with the Learning Research Network, LRN, for a summer series for the Fire Foundation. I hope this gets you more thinking, or gets you thinking more about planning and designing for all learners. Thanks.